Hey guys, Jacinta here with another book review today. The book I'm going to be reviewing now is The Dead Won't Die by Joe McKinney, which I really enjoyed. So as you can see from the cover, obviously it's about zombies, right? It's about a zombie apocalypse. Basically this book is about the main character's name is Jacob, and he is an ex-cop. He was and he's not in his hometown, I suppose, or his region. He is off on the run with a girl called Kelly, who was his who was the past love interest of his, and also with a 17-year-old girl named Chelsea, who is on the run from, I think, government sort of officials. And they all have their own kind of stories, really, as to why they're on the run. They're on the run from these government officials, while also trying to avoid getting killed by zombies, and being turned into one. And what I love about this book is they all the characters have their own backstories, and they're all very different. But it's about them kind of cooperating with each other and getting along for the sake of their survival and helping each other out while on the run from zombies. Jacob in this book is a very interesting character. I absolutely loved his character. I have to be honest though, when I was reading the book, I thought that he was at first I thought he was 17 or whatever. But it's revealed he's in his 30s, and he's an ex-cop, and it's really cool because you can see him using his skills, I suppose, and training as an ex-cop to avoid the zombies and stuff, and keeping himself, Chelsea and Kelly alive. Yeah, and it's really good book. I absolutely loved it when I read it. And I actually, my granddad, even when I was reading it at the time, he told me I was reading absolute rubbish, and that I should read something more educational, I suppose, and not read that brain dead nonsense, which is absolute rubbish, because this book was absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. I would definitely read another book by this author, because apparently he writes, he's written a number of zombie apocalypse books. I have to admit as well, this is the first book I've ever read about a zombie apocalypse, but I thought it was amazing. Obviously I don't have anything to compare it to, but my impression of it was that it was very good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Another thing that happens in this book as well, not only are Jacob, Chelsea and Kelly on the run, they end up finding an aunt of Chelsea's and teaming up with her and her friends. But then complications arise when one of them government officials gets in, but it turns out that he had a backstory with Chelsea's aunt, which makes it more complicated, but he ends up teaming up with them eventually. But Jacob still doesn't trust him, and he doesn't trust Jacob either, for reasons that were kind of, I suppose, explained earlier in the book. But it's quite comical as well to see how much conflict they're getting into when they're meant to be getting on with each other and surviving. And Jacob is such a sassy character. I absolutely love him. But I think you should really think you should read this book. It is so good. And what I really like about it as well is that they don't focus too much on the zombies. I know it's about a zombie apocalypse, but it's more about their, I suppose, dynamics with each other, their relationships with each other, the characterization, the development of their characters, and their survival instincts, and how they how they get along with each other for the sake of their lives, basically. Yeah, I would highly recommend reading this book. It is so good. The Dead Won't Die by Joe McKinney. I bought this when I was on holidays, and it seems to be a second book in the series. It says number 2 there. I don't know if you can see it. Deadlands number 2, but I didn't even realise at the time. I didn't even notice that when I bought it, and I still read it, but it seemed to make sense anyway as a standalone story. So maybe I'll look at the other books in this series, but I think it was very good, and I think you should definitely read this. I would rate it 5 out of 5 stars, definitely. There wasn't one moment where I was bored in this book. I think it was very well paced, and the characters were very well developed, and I don't really have any issues with the book at all. I think it was wonderful. It was a really good read, and I'd highly recommend The Dead Won't Die. So yeah, that is my review of The Dead Won't Die. If you've read the book, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you agreed with my review or if you didn't, I'd love to have a discussion, so that would be great. And if you like this book review, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, because there are plenty more book reviews to come and plenty more on my channel that you can check out. And until next time, I will see you. Okay, bye everyone.